All right, thank you for your patience there, Gridiron Queensland community. Just a little issue there with Facebook. We are live now, and I can tell you we are starting week 4 here from Frank Lind Oval here in the inner west side of Brisbane with the Colts match up here in round 4 with the Rhinos taking on the defending champs, the Gold Coast Stingrays, visiting here at Franklin today. No score yet. We are only a couple plays deep into the first quarter. You haven't missed a whole lot. A few big plays defensively for the Stingrays here on this opening drive, though, has forced the Rhinos to punt. First down, and on their first possession, the Stingrays. Here goes Gorka Watchapari with those spin moves he made so famous down at Narrabeen. Gets them a first down, and the Stingrays inside the red zone. Welcome to those viewing, possibly for the first time early in the season's couple streams down here for Gridiron Queensland. Kenny Andres still with the action, brought to you today by Calling All Sports Brisbane, as live streaming Brisbane is covering the Oceanic Cup, I believe. Big stuff here with hockey up north at Bundaberg, if memory serves correctly. Doing a fantastic job up there. So in the meantime, Calling All Sports Brisbane in their stead right now. First down inside the red zone, the Stingrays, and we might have a delay game here. Or that's where you see Brian Balsamo. And we have too many men on the field, so no, it's actually on the Rhinos here, the defending side. Too many players breaking the huddle. And we just saw, I think it was Josh Hardiker, come to the sideline as the extra man. Keep in mind, for those who might be watching junior football, or shall I say Colts division football in Gridiron Queensland, here it is 9-man football. So 9 on the field from each respective team. Kawachapari looking for the end zone, overthrows his target. He had a man open there for the Stingrays. It was number 85, Jaden Paludan. How you can overthrow that man is beyond me. And then I'm also wanted to double check that's him. Was it 85? And actually it was 95, I think. Andre Bailey, playing a bit of tight end this year, has been a stud defensively for this team for the last 4 championships they've been on a run on. This time, opening up to the offensive side of the ball, the man I mentioned, Jaden Paludan, he's still on the field as well. The pride and joy of the Stingrays, playing both the Colts and men's and dominating in both divisions. Sure, we'll see a healthy dose of him. Kawachapari with 2 receivers out to his left on the short side. He'll fake the handoff. Now he'll take it himself. Will he? Yes, trying to dance past defenders. Here comes the swarming Rhinos defenders, but it's not enough. He magicians his way out of that one for the first score of the day. Kawachapari getting the Stingrays on the board at 6-0 here at Franklin Oval. The Rhinos, well, they caught napping there. I thought for sure they absolutely had enough trailing defenders. And somehow Kawachapari, not the first time he's danced his way through defenders for a touchdown that really looked like it shouldn't have been. In any case, point after touchdown now. Stingrays looking to add the extra point. Jaden Paludan was on and off at state. When he was hot, he was hot. When he not, he wasn't. Right now, he starts off hot, and that's an extra point there. 7-0 to the visiting, the visiting team today, but also the defending champs. Opening score. As we see the first quarter open with a score for the Stingrays. Stingrays looking pretty good there. They are a couple weeks into it now, so a lot of the newbies in both of these respective teams should be starting to feel a little more comfortable with the flow of the game, the intricate rules, and also the stop-start nature of it. The Rhinos last year didn't come away with the title, but were a very competitive Colts team under Sam Harkness, who's sort of co-head coaching alongside club head coach in Coach John Booker. He truly is a club coach or a director of coaching in every sense of the word. Head coaches by title the men's team, but has an influence in all 3 divisions, men's, Colts, and juniors. There's a bit of a accidental false start here, not a penalised one, of course. The ball falling off the tee for the Stingrays, looking to kick it back to the Rhinos, who are going to try and equal the performance of the Stingrays in their opening drive. Booted down field by Aiden Dobosh. And this will go back for a touchback. And something I always talk about every season, if you've got a kicker in Colts who can put it out the back of the end zone, that makes your defense on average probably about 15, 20 yards better. With a lot of returns often getting back to the 35 or more in the Colts division. And of course, we're seeing better and better kickers coming through, so it's becoming more and more of a regular occurrence. Breaking the huddle now, and leading the Rhinos out, I believe, is Riley Dix. Or is it going to be Bradford? I think it actually might be Bradford. Both these quarterbacks starting at different times of the year last year, and looks like that trend continues for them this year. And handing it off for their first play there, and that's a solid run. Looks like that'll net them 5, maybe 6 yards. We'll see where the official spot lands. But it is Mitchell Bradford, the Bribey Island product. Getting the call up today. His hair a lot longer than I remember it last year. He'll go back to his huddle, sending his team out, and I think that's the 38 starting in a tailback for the Rhinos. Don't have a 38 on my team list, so we'll double check that. In any case, it'll be a handoff to said running back, but no space given this time. This will set them off a 3rd and long here. Might be back at the original line of scrimmage. They might be looking at a 3rd and 9 here after that defensive win for the Stingrays. 7-0, 3rd and 9, early in the first quarter. Week 4, Gridiron Queensland TV brought to you this week by Calling All Sports at Brisbane in lieu of LSB. I said 3rd and 9, turns out it's a little more generous than that, looking at closer to 3rd and 7 and 8. Forgive our on-screen graphic, they're going, they're taking their best guess as much as I am. And this will be a bit of a read option here for Bradford. Bradford looking for some space around the outside, trucking his way forward, desperate for the first down. Now this will be close. I'm looking to my assistant spotters to my right here. They're in a pretty good position. And they give me the nod. They think it's a first. And right they are. Mark it 1 from 1 for my unofficial spotters here. Looks like the chains could be moving, but now, no. Check that. Overruled. We're looking at 4th down. What looked like a first, and the chains are about to move. They've now brought that back. We've got 4th and inches. Less than a yard here for the Rhinos. Bradford on 4th down. They'll give up some good field position here. It's a bad snap. The wind picked up just as that ball was snapped. Bradford won't be able to do much with that, and he's taken down in the backfield by the Stingrays. Getting in, making a play there is number 26, and I think that could be Kane Mackin stepping up from the juniors for the Stingrays. That is something we've had to get used to, particularly on the broadcast team here. A lot of players moving between divisions. Once upon a time, here 5 years ago, you might only have 1 or 2 players stepping up from Colts up to men's at a time, so it wasn't that hard to pick. Now you've almost got a bit of fluency between the divisions. You've got juniors playing in Colts, Colts playing in seniors. Matter of fact, in the second game today, you will see about a dozen Colts from the Rhinos stepping into the men's, many of which not only playing, but starting. Big play for the Stingrays there. That gets them the ball back, well back in the red zone. They'll be quickly looking to add to their 7-point lead, and quickly they do. A touchdown on their very first play. Guess who? Jaden Paludan, the reigning state MVP. With a number of touchdowns earlier in the season at Junior Nationals. This time already up to 5, I believe, between both the juniors and seniors for the Stingrays this season. I guess that makes it number 6. Quick slant there, Gorgot Chupari adding his first passing touchdown of the day. So 13-0 right now with a PAT to come. Jaden looking to add the 1 point to his lead, and it's awkward, but it is accurate, and it is up 14-0 following a PAT. Jaden Paludan. A nice catch, an academic catch for him. Routine, you could say. There's a Rhinos. Let's take a look at that again. In a moment. It'll be maybe the PAT. back to live action. 14-0, a very hot start here from the Stingrays. The defense giving them great field position there, and a 4th and inches stop that went over the head of Mitchell Bradford, the snap that is, and that put them right back in the red zone. The Stingrays won all their matchups against the Rhinos last year, currently in a good start to try and continue that trend. Dobosh sends it down on the one hop. Hardiker, I think, catches this. Nope, it's the 38, and one of the players that do not on the team list, which will be a regular trend early in the season, as jerseys are swapped and around until they find a rhythm. And player who will stay unnamed for now, number 38. Quite possibly one of the juniors stepping up. Regan Holiday, one of the regulars who played up for him last year, will not be playing there, and that's usually the man who'll be wearing number 42. Jack Lowe, however, 43. I remember when we did a juniors coverage midway through last year's season, was a shared MVP of that game. Bradford looking to pass over the top, and it's caught in stride. There is Paddy Schweikert taking it down to the 23. A good hook up there between Bradford and Schweikert. That time, snap, not an issue. They take it down. Rhinos now on the attack. All right, back here, 1st and down. Ball on the 24, it looks like. Given to aforementioned running back. We'll get his name soon. It's Bradford. Cycles the play back into his team. In some ways, it's almost a lost art in today's modern game, particularly at the collegiate level, with quarterbacks getting the play and then running it back into the huddle. There's so many different hand signals and play calling methods or play cycling methods, so quarterbacks don't have to actually make their way to the sideline. Rhinos Colts kicking it a bit old school, you could almost say. And this is a nice run, bounce to the outside on 2nd down. This will make it 3rd and short, looking maybe 3rd and 3. Nope, check that. Looked like we were looking at that, but it might have only been 1 yard by the end of it. It was more yards gain east-west than it was north-south, so 3rd and 5. Test here. Near side wide receiver is Patrick Moore, who I thought was injured, so that could be actually one of the juniors stepping up. In any case, he'll be given the ball here on the end-around attempt, and that will be stopped quite convincingly by the Stingrays. That'll bring it to 4th down. This will be out of field goal range for the Colts, so for the Rhinos Colts, I should say. So they'll have to dial up a play here. I can't imagine them trying to punt for field position down 14 early in the 1st. Just getting a name there for there. Bradford throws a duck up into the air there, and it falls incomplete, out of bounds safely. In any case, it is a turnover. So the Stingrays survived their first trek down, defending their own red zone, and they'll send their offense back on the field for 1st down. But Bradford at least proving there that they have the ability to push this ball vertical should they wish. A long completion there, almost 30 yards to Patrick Schweikert. Put them in a good field position in the first place. Just getting the call now that Austin Sturdy has moved from jersey 16-38. Here's our mystery man at tailback. And now a changing quarterback for the Stingrays. That looks like Kanan Tompkins to me. It is. He's looking to throw on his first touch, and he almost completes it. Great coverage on the play there. Played on the intended wide receiver. Deflecting the pass is Angus McKinnon. Seeing the replay there, that's a talented wide receiver and a fantastic coverage on the play to bounce that ball out. A 2nd and 10. In motion now, I think that was Bailey. Tompkins falls to the ball, wants to throw again, look for Paladin on the streak. He's got him, and he will likely be tackled there just past the 40. Looking at the Rhinos 38, they go back to a similar play there, and this time Paladin gets the better of his corner there. And that'll move the chains and push them into Rhinos territory. Those just tuning in, 14-0 midway through the first quarter. 2 early touchdowns to the Stingrays. A run from Gorka Watchapari, who was playing quarterback at the time, and also a pass completion for a touchdown to Jaden Paladin, also from Kawachapari, who's now on the sidelines. It's Kanan Tompkins taking the carries, and here comes Jack Rithadech for the first time on offense today. He bounces out of the first tackle, and now he's down the left-hand sideline with blockers. He's breaking tackles still, takes on Schweikert, and I think is in. Touchdown Stingrays. A fantastic long-range run there from Jack Rithadech. Usually famous for stopping ball carriers, this time turns into one, and it's a scoring one at that. On fire now, the Stingrays. 3rd touchdown, 20-0, and you can see the back end of the Rithadech carry. Plenty of blocks downfield as well. He didn't do it on his own. Now looking to add the extras back again, holding it. It's number 4, Jack Winter-Jeffries. And looking to kick it through once again, Jaden Paladin. Kick is up, low but true, and the point extra is good, making it 21-0 right now, midway and probably towards the back end of the first quarter now. The Stingrays well in charge right now. Tuning in a little bit later after this game. Still got 3 quality quarters to go, but the Ravens in the men's division return to the live stream. We're there in week 1 against the Thunder, the defending champs. This time come against their semi-final opponents from a year ago against the Brisbane Rhinos. Kickoff unit is back, as is that his return unit for the Rhinos. Back deep is Pat Schweikert, also number 14. Taking up, beating the first defender, and eventually taken down. The Stingrays, they get that back to just shy of the 30, starting on the 28-yard line, and they'll have 1st and 10. And a 21-point deficit, the Rhinos to be chasing here, still in the first quarter. And this might be a change in quarterback. I think that's Riley Dix now out on the field, taking a read option on his first touch of the football and grabs them a 1st down with a 12-yard run. That'll move the chains, and then they'll get Riley Dix going. Riley Dix and Bradford. It's an interesting situation. I don't think Colts football, at least in the last 5-10 years even, has seen a quarterback battle with two such equally competent quarterbacks in Dix and Bradford, so much so that none of them really were named the starter last year. It was a week-to-week sort of competition for it. Though this year it appears that Bradford has won out the backup quarterback role for the men's team. Last year it was Riley Dix, constantly used as QB2. This time it is Bradford, at least for now. And Riley Dix might end up taking more of the Colts snaps, with the intention of possibly protecting Bradford as the emergency quarterback for the senior men's. And this is another high snap even for the tall quarterback in Dix. And he is taken down hard. Taking him down for the sack, at least initially, is Wilson Spisic. He's someone who is going to be an exciting prospect to look at from what I've been told. He's new to the game. He's a rookie playing at defensive end and will also get some carries at running back as we see the first quarter come to an end. More on Spisic to follow. That is the end of the first quarter. The Stingrays, they lead the Rhinos at 21 points to 0 as the two teams switch sides. All right, back for the second quarter. Stingrays, well, just proven that even with the change of head coach, well, I'll speak about in a second, still a dominant force in this Colts division. Riley Dix waiting for Brian Balsamo, the head white hat referee, to give him the okay. Now, I don't know if that was a miscommunication there. He shaped as if he was looking for something short and then just had to eat that play there and cops a sack for his troubles. We've got 3rd and long. I'd say it's probably close to 3rd and 20. Ball now located around the Rhinos' 40-yard line. They've got to try and get to the Stingrays' 34 to convert here on 3rd down. At least maybe not a completion, maybe not a conversion, but a solid gain here could put them, will change them from a punting mindset to a go for it mindset here on 3rd down though. Dix throwing long, it's loopy, but it's in the hands of Schweiken. What soft hands from Paddy Schweiken. He'll take it in for 6, not only will they convert, they'll get on the board. The Rhinos answer back 21 points to 6. Long pass there and throws, doesn't even step into the throw. That's almost all back foot and didn't even look like a pretty pass, but it was enough to get to Paddy Schweiken. And the young man, already battle hardened through his first couple seasons and only played a full season of Colts, but ended up playing in the men's Sun Bowl last year. That's how much they trusted him. He was wasn't quite necessarily a starter, but he was certainly well in the rotation of receivers last year and caught a couple passes in the men's Sun Bowl in 2018. 2-point conversion now for the Rhinos. Rolling and catching, and he had Schweiken open. He couldn't quite contort the body around to make that catch, so that score will remain 21 points to 6 to open the second quarter. So keeping it within range of the Rhinos. We saw in the first quarter that they completed a long pass. Bradford to, again, that man Schweiken, and they can get down the field. And this wind actually has been constant this entire afternoon here at Frank Lind Oval. It's coming, probably favoring the Rhinos right now. And the Stingrays breeze, obviously, in the first quarter, both teams swap sides. So it's going to be behind the Rhinos for now. It is probably coming towards your screens, though. So Rhinos quarterbacks might be able to put a little more oomph into those passes and trust that to carry it beyond some of these Stingrays DBs. Again, you can see the wind knocking the ball off the tee. That's the idea. You can probably hear it through my microphone as well. As this is up and dropped there. The return man who we haven't seen yet today is taking it past and through. This is a Dobosh. Dobosh, he's got a one man to beat and slips over the Franklin sniper. Takes him down as he was looking to cut back against his last defender, who is listed as Patrick Moore, but I'm not 100% certain that is him. In any case, a fantastic return there, putting them in position to continue this 2-touchdown lead. First down and 10 for the Stingrays. Just saw the Franklin Bullant grab hold of that right foot there with the replay just a second ago. First down and 10. Stingrays. Still Kanan Tompkins as the signal caller. The play action pass, looking for his man deep, and I don't know if the wind wreaked havoc with that, but the play finishes with a flag being thrown back at the line of scrimmage. We actually haven't seen too many flags today. That might only be the second one by my count. So we're seeing some sort of pass interference. We'll see if we can pick that referee up. Just picked that up there. We're competing with a lot of wind with our directional mics, but a block in the back against the Stingrays. So that'll march them back now. They're just breaking the huddle to see the umpire marching that ball back. So now they're looking at 1st and 20. And Kanan Tompkins on first down completes there. Pass completed to number 33, Noah Hull, one of the veterans on this team. A couple of years now, at least 3rd year in the Stingrays program. Played some running back as well, this time a wide receiver picking up a catch to bring them back closer to the original line of scrimmage. We're looking at 2nd and 11. On 2nd down, Tompkins with 2 receivers to his short side once again seems to be the go-to formation for the Stingrays. Looking to his right to the outside receiver, and as Jaden Paludan bringing in over the shoulder. He's got himself a catch. And, well, it's hard to be amazed by those catches nowadays because Jaden makes them so routinely. Over the right and into the red zone now, well and truly. Matter of fact, inside the 10. Looking at 1st and goal. Goal line to go. First down, about maybe 3 or 4 yards out. Hull's in motion. Now he makes the trips to the right-hand side. Sorry, that's Bailey in motion. Hull, the lone receiver, to the left-hand sideline. Tompkins checks off. We'll give this to Jack Rithodetch. Has 1 touchdown today and is about to make that 2. Points to defender as he enters and crosses the goal line, I should say. That's another touchdown to Jack Rithodetch. Another score to this Gold Coast Stingrays juggernaut team. 27 points to 6 here midway through the 2nd quarter. Well, they can do it a number of different ways. They'll get down, passing this football, getting all the acrobatic catches, and then go back to a bit of power once they get to a first and goal situation. They've proven to be effective regardless. 2 quarters down, we've seen 2 quarterbacks. We've seen no change in production. Kenneth Tompkins, the starting junior quarterback from a year ago, but also has a state campaign which he used certainly to add some growth. And Jaden will slot another one. Perfect on the day. 4 from 4, 28 points to 6. Now following that Jack Rithadat running touchdown. Midway through the second, Kenny Andres calling you through the action here in this Colts matchup, week 4. Production brought to you this week by Call Your Sports Brisbane. Whilst Livestream Brisbane's out covering the Oceania Cup. You can check out Paul Mills' livestream for that coverage. Doing a great job of covering the hockey and another Call Your Sports Brisbane action. You've got the BRL semi-finals being covered. John Devine out calling up a storm on that one. Right now, Kenny Andres with you with a week 4 action. After this game, I'll remind you that the men's team will be on your live stream. There'll be a separate link for that. For those not watching on Facebook, there is a separate link for that game. So don't stick around on this one, assuming that'll transfer over. There will be a whole new link in there that'll be provided on the GQ Facebook page, or if not already. And this is, well, for now, I'll call it Patrick Ball, but again, I note that he doesn't quite remind me of the Paddy Moore I saw last year for the Ravens, and he's taken down. And the Rhinos, they'll start their drive here in the second quarter around their own 35-yard line. As we are set up first down, and this is Sturdy taking on the front 4 of the Gold Coast Stingrays, and he picks up about 3 yards. And well, yeah, a bit of confusion here. Patrick Moore, who was the 14 listed on my team list, he is in his 14 jersey, but he is out injured at the moment, so this will be a 14 called up from the juniors. Now I'll have to go through my notes to try to figure out which player has stepped up. As we see second down now for the Rhinos, 2nd and 6. It's a healthy 6 too, almost 7. And meeting him right in the middle there, number 97 for the Stingrays, Wilson Spisic, already with 9 sacks on the junior season. And that'll be a 3-yard loss there, bringing it back to 3rd and 9. Paddy Schweikert, the danger man on their deep routes. It was on 3rd and long last time when they scored, throwing to him deep. This time hit and fumbled. Ball's loose. I don't think the Stingrays know about it. And the Rhinos certainly do, and one man does now. He's tackled. I thought he lost it for a second, but coming man recovering that football for the Stingrays is Gustin Perez-Barrios, I should say. The cornerback also reps in at D-end. He recovers his football, but it's a hard sack there. Trying to figure out the number that the glare's killing me. Might have been Kane Mackin again. Yes, it is. The junior Kane Mackin coming around the back and absolutely blindsiding Riley Dix. And the ball coughs out, and again, this Stingrays offense that certainly doesn't need the gifted field position is blessed with a short field. Yeah, Braden Flynn might be the man in number 14 for the Rhinos. Over the middle, back at quarterback is Gorka Wachapari, and the break doesn't bother him. He completes the pass for a touchdown on their first play, catching that for 6 points. Number 81, Aiden Dobosh, with a big kick return earlier. Now he adds a receiving touchdown to his stat sheet. earlier. Pass completed for a touchdown by Kawachapari. It was a nice slant. This time it comes back to that play and no dramas. One of the taller quarterbacks in the league, Kawachapari. A lot more passing lanes available to him than some of the others in this Colts division. Jaden Pallion yet to fail a PAT so far, looking to remain perfect. Snap's good, kick is up, and kick is good. 35 points here towards the back end of the second quarter. Rhinos need to do some significant catch-up to stay competitive in this one. 35 points still in the first half. Flynn, I'm led to believe, is the 14 for the Rhinos today. Usually Patrick Moore's number, but in his absence, Flynn, who has 14 in the junior division, looks to have moved up and has taken some snaps in the division above, under 19s. For those new to the game, 3 divisions for, well, 4 really. Juniors is our youngest, that's under 15s there, so that's 15s and under, and then the Colts is that real tweener age on 19s and under, and then you got opens, which is technically 20 and over, although plenty of Colts do end up playing men's or senior football, and of course our women's division listed as a senior division, but certainly same rules apply. It is open, so some of the girls playing in our Colts division, that's exactly right. The girls also play in that under 19 and juniors division. They can step up and play the women's division as well, but that's probably something we're yet to see so far, as we're still developing some of those divisions within some of the clubs. First and 10 though, the Rhinos looking for some execution. First and 10. Shadows across the field here at Franklin, hiding that red jersey of the Rhinos. Under pressure there was Bradford, who's back in at quarterback. Both his team rotating through their starting 2 quarterbacks. Jack Rithidich forcing the quick pass there. Second down and 10 yards to go. I see a few people checking out the action there. Of course, Coach Hollywood Rowe always checking out the action in all the different divisions. He'll be his lovely vocal talents will be joining us towards the back end of the season. Right now, obviously a busy man as the Australian Outback Juniors head coach. As this is another carry to Sturdy. Sturdy been proven to be a tough back today. Has been doing a lot of the interior work, and that is some hard-hitting players in that middle of the D for the Stingrays, and Sturdy not often taken down behind the line, so good job by that O-line. Fantastic job there from Sturdy. A couple of the juniors stepping up to play on the O-line here for the Rhinos. I think I see number 99 there, Malachi Railton Stewart. Big man at left guard. Snap is good. Rolling out by design is Bradford, but Bradford, no route short enough for him to escape the pressure there. Throws the ball, and him and Jack Rithidich help each other up, and we're moving on to third down. 3rd and 7. The assignment now for the Rhinos. We're on that offensive line. Snapping this year at centre for the Rhinos, number 63. A famous name there, Ruziet Samo. You might recognise that last name. Of course, Radiki Samo, whose father, the Wallabies number 8 for a long period. I still remember that try from 2011. That long-range try against the All Blacks, a fantastic one. But he's always here for the sake of his son, and his son living up to that Samo legacy right now, doing a fantastic job for the Rhinos. as this is one of the few punts we've seen today, and we won't actually see a punt there. That was back there sturdy there, but it was a bit low, bounced off his shin, and the Stingrays once again won't have to do much to earn themselves 6 points, as this defense is doing a fantastic job making their life a lot easier. Look at the Stingrays offensive line, a couple of veteran names there. You can see with his hand up calling the huddle there, number 76, Sam Grant, one of the core offensive linemen for the last couple of years now for the Stingrays during their premiership or Sun Bowl runs. Will be a huge part in keeping this line together, which has apparently been able to stay together for the most part. Did have a significant injury to one of their players. I think it was Tyrone Ruhinen as part of that regular one, and there's another touchdown before I can even get back from the stat sheet. Noah Hull's already added another touchdown. Gorkort Chapari, his third passing touchdown of the day, all on the same route, that slant. He loves it, he gets it, and they get another 6 points. It's working on the inside. That's 3 touchdowns, 3 different receivers on that slant. Surprised to see Noah Hull taking some carries later on as this game progresses. 41 points following that touchdown. Ballooning in to try to make that 42. Another good snap and another successful PAT. Jeez, I could already probably say that Jaden Payton probably has he's probably breaking records here for the most accurate in-game PAT percentage with 100 for attempts more than 5, because this is probably the most PATs I've seen in quite some time. I didn't quite see the long snapper there, but shout out to the Stingrays long snapper doing a fantastic job. That's usually where PATs fail in this Colts division, just trying to get a consistent snap. They've been on point all afternoon, hence the perfect 7 from 7, I think, by my count, for the Stingrays. Six, technically. Quick maths. There's Dobosh. Back to kick it off again. It's another good kick. Line drive. This will be returnable. Schweikert was underneath it. I think it was, or it might actually be Flynn, the man we were talking about earlier. In fact, it was the 14, not the 11. Nope, it was Schweikert. Sucked not only in the camera's eyes, but mine too as well. You see 1st and 10 now for the Rhinos. These two teams both tasting a lot of success in their season so far, both 2-0, 72-18 the first week for the Rhinos, 36-6 to follow up with that, and then 53-6 win for the first week for the Stingrays, and I think it was 30-odd points in technically in week 3 last week. And loading up is Bradford, but finding only Columbia Blue Gloves. Returning this is the DB and Max Cusson, and Cusson gets that back to the Rhinos 20. And this defense, again, formidable. Surrendered 1 touchdown early in the second quarter, the second play into the second quarter. Since then, the Rhinos haven't even seen the Stingrays' side of the field. That, though, technically their first takeaway. It has been fumble recoveries on 4th down and 4th down stops to earn the football back. Ball security has been impressive by the Rhinos, but that's their first takeaway there as they start to look to try and push that ball downfield and try to get back into this game. Jaden Paladin with a short pass underneath, circles back to the middle of the field, splitting the defense. Now someone's got him by the jersey, but it won't be enough. He's close to the goal line. He might be 1 yard short. Length of a football away, stopping him from adding another touchdown to his day. So 1st and goal now for the Stingrays. changing quarterbacks again. And Kanan Tompkins completing that last pass. Looking to add another. In the backfield, Barrios. Barrios will get it. He'll try to add his name to the score sheet. Won't be the case. Taking him down is big number 99, one of the juniors stepping up. It's Malachi Relton Stewart again. Thought for a second it might have been Darcel Tuimavave. His uncle, Joe Tuimavave, obviously wears number 99 at the senior level. Samo, also in the interior of his defense, will try to generate some pressure. Quick pass here though, and that pass is caught for a Stingrays touchdown, reeling that one in for the Rays. Aiden Dobosh again, second touchdown of the day, and also Kanan Tompkins third if my count's correct. $48 points here. Let's see if they choose to go for the 2 for the sake of going for the 50 burger, but right now, Jaden perfect with the boot. Sounds like we might be seeing how many times I can extrapolate that fact throughout today. Going through his routine and getting a same result, another successful PAT there. Makes that 49 points to 6 towards the back end of the second quarter. That makes him 7 from 7. 7 first half touchdowns. They'll kick this back to the Rhinos once again. Rhinos sideline understandably going a little quiet now. Coach Booker's still got a smile on his face, looking to encourage his young team. Along with Sam Harkness, of course. Haven't actually spoken about the coaching staff of the Stingrays as of yet, despite the fantastic job they've been doing. It's Colt Isham taking the head coaching role for the Colts this year. Yes, that's right, Colts. Colt is coaching the Colts. Taking over Chris Nguyen, who might actually very well be watching. I know he's supposed to be getting family photos today, but a 4-time Sun Bowl winning coach, and Coach Nguyen, who did a fantastic job as Pat Schweikert is chased down relentlessly, the Rhinos to start on their own 20. He stepped away to look after his young family for at least this season, and Colt was given the reins there. Obviously big shoes to fill, but right now doing the job quite effectively. Colt's been waiting in the wings, maybe not so much for the opportunity now, but back coaching last year. Had to take a year off coaching last year because of some back surgery, but back and ready. Spoke to him Thursday night, and he seemed he was very comfortable with the role. He's had fantastic coaches around him, and said he had no dramas taking on the responsibility of such a strong program. An American man himself, played 2 years at a Tasca Community College. As we see an incomplete pass here on first down. See if that play was blown dead. Very few times has the Stingrays team tasted defeat over the last 5-6 years. Certainly obviously not in the playoffs, and I can recall one against the Ravens, I think in 2017 at the Ravens' then home field of Molimba. I think they had maybe one more at the hands of the Rhinos, and I think the only other time they might have lost was against their own team, technically in Stingrays White, when they divided into 2 teams, Stingrays White, Stingrays Blue. Before then had some vaunted battles against the Spartans throughout the earlier teen years. I think about 12, 13, 14, there was a trading of titles between the Sunshine Coast Spartans and the Gold Coast Stingrays. And in the case of first down and 7. Bradford under pressure. He's going to have to eat this one, taking him down there, and I'll credit the sack to number 9, Jack Boswell, Mike Backer for today, gets in, creating enough pressure, and that might be the end of the first half. That it is. So at halftime here, the Stingrays have done a very good job of making a statement here to the rest of the division. Currently leading the Rhinos 49 points to 6 here at halftime. I'm Kenny Andres. Thank you for joining throughout the first half. We'll take a short break during halftime, and we'll be returning for the second half very shortly.
She'll take you on a ride down the Nile River. She'll strip away your insides and shower you with glitter. Please don't act surprised.
I can sell you more.
All right, welcome back. Second half about to commence. Halftime score of a 49-6 lead to the Gold Coast Stingrays, the defending champs. Kenny Andrea's back to bring you the second half action here, week 4, Gridiron, Queensland, and that's a kick return there by Aiden Dobosh. 49 points for the Stingrays in the first half, 7 touchdowns, 5 of which through the air. We had 2 touchdowns that Aiden Dobosh there, the man who just kick returned, 1 to Jaden Paludan, another 1 to Max Cusson, and 3 on the ground, 2 to Jack Rithodach, 1 of which a 40-yard scamper, the other of which the first touchdown of the day was to Gorka Watchapari, spinning his way through multiple tacklers to make up their 49 points, each with a PAT to follow. And the Rhinos, they got on board in the start of the second quarter. Pat Schweikert, a long touchdown on 3rd and long. The Stingrays looking to add to that lead early. Overthrow there from Gorka Watchapari, and both teams have been rotating quarterbacks about every other drive. This time it's Gorka Watchapari back on the field. Those passing touchdowns split between him and Kanan Tompkins. That time, that first and long attempt incomplete. Down counter hasn't changed, but it should be 2nd down and 10. And I think they've just noticed that. Boom. 2nd down and 10. Gorka Watchapari rolling out to his left here, flushed out the left, you could say. Now he's going to take it himself. This is dangerous. Kawachapari in open space, not a defender within 5 yards, and he will run this in for his second rushing touchdown of the day. The Stingrays eclipse 50. 2 plays deep into the second half, but hold the phone. We've got a flag back deep in the backfield, and if you can't hear, that was holding on the Stingrays, so keep that score off the board. An impressive effort there, negated by a holding penalty, and this will make it 2nd down and 10. Runs brought back. 2nd and 20 following the holding call, of course. Top of the third, first possession of the second half. Stingrays 49-6, almost we're at 55-6 there. Kawachapari run, but holding is the call. Now they've got 2nd and 20. 3 receivers out to the open side of the field. Hold the furthest out from that, under pressure from Hardiker. He has to run. They give him open space again. Kawachapari cutting it back. He's got in the teeth of the defensive now, but he's well in the backfield, fending people off. 1 to beat now, cuts back, now runs back into the big defensive tackle, making an effort to get all the way downfield, and will be brought down at the 10 or thereabouts. Shout out to the Rhinos, a big man, number 63, Ruziet Samo, or Ruzi, as he's more commonly called, getting down there, hustling and making a play. And that is the catch-22 for rushing certain quarterbacks, and one of those quarterbacks is Gorka Watchapari, and of course, I mean the athletic types who will make you pay if you do not keep them contained. It's one thing to get pressure on them, but you've got to take away their running lanes too. They did not do that, the Rhinos, and there he rips off a 40-yard gain inside the red zone now. Still 1st and 10 though. Pass it down the middle, and a fantastic catch on his knees for a touchdown. Wasting no time once they get in the red zone. Bringing it in for 6 points is number 7. That is one of the juniors, Christian Denton. One of the young athletes and the junior program. Runs a slant there, and this time it's well, after that long run for the red zone duties, they threw in Kanan Tompkins. Tompkins now collects his 3rd passing touchdown of the day. BAT is up and good. Successful PAT there. 56 points now to 6. this train just keeps on rolling, as does the afternoon sun here at Franklin Oval, as do the trains here passing Franklin Oval, a comical part of broadcasting here out of the West Mitchelton Rugby League Football Club. The train line probably out to compare at this time, constantly featuring in the background. Getting ready to kick off there. A couple of personnel switches here for the Rhinos. Jumping on the field now, number 33. And is Marcus McCarthy getting some game time now again. The junior, and some of these juniors had to really get on their bike. The juniors for both these teams, I believe, actually played at Nerang, the Gold Coast home field. One of the other teams hosting here, as this kickoff is bubbled. He has to pick it up inside his own 5 to Sturdy, and Sturdy does a half-decent job to get it back close to his 20, probably about his 17. Stingrays coverage, though, not making a whole lot of errors here in the entirety of this afternoon, and the Rhinos, they'll take over 4 yards short of their own 20. Ball on the 16. But yeah, the Rhinos in particular, I know for certain, were competing at Nerang, obviously down to the Gold Coast, and they've got to travel to the northwest side of Brisbane to make it back in time. The latest start made that possible for them. This is actually somewhat of an odd time for the Colts to be playing at 4 p.m. A lot of the Colts games played usually closer to 12 or 2:30. So the boys' minds on the game at a later time is something, probably a challenge for both these coaches, and flags have been thrown in. Stingray is down. We haven't seen a whole lot of injuries today, at least game-stopping injuries there, and this time the Stingrays is down. I think it's Kiralee Keynes, young lady in her second year in football. She's down and clutching at her back. Yana, the resident trainer for the Rhinos, going down there. Very familiar with a lot of players in the league. Very lovable woman who's cautious about all players involved, not whether they're wearing a Rhino jersey or not. Was also the state team physician. There she is, trying to make sure we see head coach Cole Disham out there as well with Kiralee, the outside linebacker, assessing her, seeing if she's okay. Sure if we've got a replay that we might be able to talk about to shed some light on this scenario. Trying to see where she comes through. Oh, you see a big blindside block on her there. You don't see her number because of the hair, but it is number 41 coming in with a huge blindside block. Now, yeah, it's interesting. The rules nowadays, and you see the flags being thrown in, it looks like this will be a penalty there. There's terminology of defenseless players being hit now. Those sort of blindside blocks, they've been ruled against, and once upon a time it was a significant part of the game. You know, you'll hear every old school coach saying the term head on a swivel, keep your head on a swivel, but sport's losing a lot of players due to those sort of plays, and that's something they're ruling out here, and that's why Kiralee, she's taken one of those hits and now she's injured, and that's what they're trying to take out of this game here. Angus McKinnon had some good coverage at the start of the game here. I imagine this penalty is going to be called on him, but I am just speculating as of right now. We will get the official call soon. Sam Harkness, the head coach of the Rhinos, out there getting clarification before the call is made. It was a vicious hit. I can imagine, I can understand why she's down. And the good news here, I don't know if we'll be able to get it here, you can see head coach Sam Harkness just talking to his player there, and probably not only just, maybe not scolding him, but educating him right now as he takes him back to the huddle there. And that's what we kind of need. We need coaches to educate this part of the game to their players. explain the rule, explain why it's there, and understand its impact on the spirit of the game and obviously the safety of the game. And hopefully young Angus will learn from this experience. And the good news is Kiralee Keens is making her way off the field under her own power. Tough young lady was a key part of that juniors team last year that made it all the way to the semis, finished in the #1 seed. Described her playing style to be very similar to her brother Kai Keens, who was a diminutive demolisher, laid some of the bigger hits in the division last year. Expect similar from her. Fortunately on the receiving end of one of those hits this time. Her team will benefit from the penalty of it though. Again, I'm not sure if our microphones picked that up, but it was unnecessary roughness on the Rhinos. Angus McKinnon, sorry, my apologies. And we'll move half distance to the goal for the Rhinos. Now they've got a 1st and long, probably close to 1st and 20, and make that even longer now. Taken down in the backfield by number 95, I'm led to believe Andre Bailey. And I'm just seeing if that was in fact a safety. No. Nope. Down at the 1. So Stingrays now, well, they've scored all their points on offense so far. Surprisingly, no defensive touchdowns on a scoreline like this, or no special teams either. So the defense would love to contribute to that scoreboard officially by adding a safety. And they'll just try to run themselves into a bit of space here. I think that sturdy trucking forward does a fantastic job, all things considered. Now we've got 3rd and forever. That being said, it was a 3rd and 20 plus play that got the Rhinos on the board in the 2nd quarter. On pass to Patrick Schweikert, who's on the sideline right now. Not on the field right now on this 3rd and long. I understand that Pat Schweikert will be playing considerable snaps in the men's division up next, so whether they're preserving him for that is a possibility given the scoreline. So it'll be on to some of these younger players to try to make a difference here and try to improve this scoreline. And we might have a end of quarter there, so that will bring us to the close of the 3rd, and I think that also coincided with a medical check with someone. Yana Rollingston, if memory serves correctly, is on the field assessing one of the Rhinos, number 36, and Joshua Player. Possible head injury assessment from the way she's interacting with him. Well, that will bring a close to the 3rd, and with the scoreline the way it is, we are clear of the 35-point margin. So we'll be moving into a running clock, which means there will be no stoppages, bar timeouts, and significant injuries. So expect this 4th quarter to progress a little quicker, and we'll probably have an extended break between the Colts and men's division as we move into quarter number 4, final quarter of this week 4 game. Of course, upcoming, as I just mentioned, the men's division, the Rhinos, last year's runner-ups. They'll be taking on the Ravens, the team knocked out in the semi-finals by the ultimate winner, the Griffith University Thunder, in a fantastic semi-final game played up at the Sunny Coast. They'll both be looking to make a statement early in this season. Both teams popular choices to be in the Sun Bowl come November 2019. So on 3rd and over 20, Riley Dix will just run this and will throw it into the dirt to protect any loss of yardage, and this will bring up 4th down, and they'll probably send that punting unit out. And last time we saw the punt unit, a bad snap prevented a punt from getting off, so we actually haven't seen a whole lot of punts today. in the junior game that was earlier, not broadcasted, but I did have a keen eye on. There was a punt return touchdown by Kai Pimamode, one of the speedsters in the junior division. It was an impressive one that saw him cross all the way to the other side of the field before cutting back in an impressive Spartan victory in the junior division. Interesting player left out of the Rhinos Colts team this particular week is Calder Shanks. I talk about the Spartans. He was the Spartans' star athlete last year, made his way to the Rhinos to continue his football, the Colts division, and it looks like he might also be one of the players saved for the men's position. He's a starter, I'm led to believe, at least this week in the men's team. So clearly, and this is off the outside of the boot. Actually nets him about a yard, if that. It's a tough gig being a punter with a goalpost right behind you there, and the Stingrays, as they have for much of this game, their offense will start inside the red zone. Matter of fact, they'll be starting at the Rhinos 4. Well, they might have been generous there. They're actually giving them the 5. So first and goal from the 5. When gifted this field position today, the Stingrays have needed no more than 4 players to add 6 points. Trips out to the left. And under pressure, Samo's trying to chase him down, and that pressure is enough to force this incomplete pass intended there to Dobosh, who was looking to make that a hat trick for today. Incomplete pass, a bit too high for him, and that'll bring up second down and goal. (56-6). Start of the 4th, we are in a running clock here in week 4 Colts matchup. With 8 touchdowns on the board, they hand it off to Bailey. Bailey trucking his way forward, and Bailey, he adds their 4th rushing touchdown for the day. Number 95, Andre Bailey, one of the veterans on this team. Almost a Mr. Fix-It. They can plug it him anywhere. This time he plays tailback, and on a bit of an RPO looking play there, he gets the carry and gets 6 points. Bringing up their 9th touchdown today. Paladin 8 from 8 so far. And, well, there we go. He technically didn't take a swing at that, so that's not a missed kick. It's a failed 2-point attempt there. If you wish, you can credit him with a miss on that play, but for the first time today, the Rhinos get one back on the point after attempt. Score remains 62 points to 6. Here in the 4th. Nice play there to initially on first down, unsuccessful. Right leg of Aiden Dobosh gets ready to continue his job today. Schweiken Flynn back. No, check that. 31. New return man in. Matthias on this line drive picks it up on the 1 hop. Fields it at the 17. Now looking for blocks. Has got a little bit of room to the outside, still breaking tackles, and eventually Form tackled out at his own 30. Tackling him out of bounds for the Stingrays. Number 14, Ryan Collins, an edge player from the juniors, contributing on special teams that time, but we've got a flag far sideline. Barbara Johnson looks like she threw the flag. One of the experienced sideline referees or officials in GQ today. 21 on the Stingrays. No, not Stingrays, sorry, the Rhinos. A ping for a block in the back, and I don't think it was 21 because that would be Zach Nielsen, who's out injured at the moment. Oh no, it is going to be on the Stingrays. Don't see that very often. As we get some very fortunate spillage in the commentary booth. One place probably could have. First and 10 here for the Rhinos. Here in the fourth. Dix in command of the huddle. Will hand this off. They've got no space though. Josh Hardiker receives the handoff and then faces a wall of Columbia blue. Late flag thrown in by Nigel Law here on the near side sideline. After the play, bit of unsportsmanlike conduct, I'm going to safely assume. Yeah, you heard it. Not sportsmanlike conduct on number 75 from the Stingrays. That is young Jordan Tawali'i. There we go. By the big man who's again tipped to do some big things in this sport. Call that a learning experience for him, picking up his first ever USC. One more of those and it leads to an ejection for those who are still a bit unfamiliar to the game. Dix has to hand off to Hardiker. Hardiker's met again. This time Bailey's the first one there. Finishing up is that man again. Tawali'i cleaning up. And look at the size of him. I've been told the guesstimations on him, 6'4", eclipsing 120 kilos, and that certainly looks accurate. You can see him on your screen now. Setting the edge could easily be defensive tackle, but he's athletic enough to play the edge for the Stingrays, and you can see the havoc that he's been causing for this Rhinos team, who is one of the better offensive lines in the Colts comp. It will be a problem for many more teams to come. Second down and 15. Dix with Hardiker to the right of him. Two receivers to his right. They'll play action pass here, and Bailey doesn't fall for it. Wraps up Riley Dix and takes him down all the way back at the Rhinos 40. Relentless here, this Stingrays defense, and keep in mind, a lot of these guys aren't their regular starters. A lot of the second stringers getting plenty of play time here and proving that they're going to be pushing the ones for the rest of the season. Kane Mackin, one of those guys, checking in now. He'll probably be playing at defensive end as they take off Tawali'i. Third and long. Kane Mackin, one of the quick edge players there, no doubt there for a bit of pass rush. Showing blitz the Rays. Sending blitz. Hardiker will just take this forward on third down. Another flag thrown in the middle of the tackle. Possible face mask. Third down though. Holding our result of the play till after this flag is or is not assessed. And I did just see a bit of an offside signal. And that's the case. I don't know if we've got it that far back on replay though. Number 7, Christian Denton called across the line there. Lining up in the neutral zone. And yeah, you can, oh, it's close. It's probably his hand and head there. You can see just above the ball. Defenders have to be out of the neutral zone. The neutral zone being the length of that football between the two teams. A defender or an offensive player cannot be lined up in that zone. Of course, the center is the one exception His head being over the ball. And they might have just done it again. They're going to get a free play if they snap this, and unfortunately, perhaps a bit of inexperience there on both sides showing. A possible free play for the Rhinos had they been able to get that ball off. And what do coaches say? If you get caught offside, just follow through with it. They'll blow the whistles, but you'll prevent the other team. What a free play. That's on Jack Boswell. Pinged for offside. Maybe a bit of fatigue now showing up even on the Stingrays now. Towards the back end of the fourth running clock. Boswell now, left outside linebacker. And getting a timeout, I believe, here to the Rhinos. Or are they calling that? Well, the Rhinos are coming to the sideline. And perhaps, I imagine, with the running clock, that would have been an opportunity to run one more play if they wish. The Rhinos opted not to, and we are looking at the close of this matchup here. Week 4, the Stingrays with a resounding victory over the Rhinos. Some serious combatants in it, and there's the raise of the football full-time here at Franklin Oval, round 4 for the Colts division. The Stingrays, as I mentioned, to come away with a convincing win, 62 points, 9 touchdowns to 6. A strong win for Colt Isham and his Colts lads as they progress undefeated so far in 2019. The Rhinos suffering their first loss, and we'll take the film back and learn from this. Kenny Andres here calling you through the action. We'll be continuing to do so for the men's division following this kickoff at 6 p.m. Thank you for joining us. However long you joined us here in this Colts matchup, we hope you keep us company in the men's division from 6 o'clock. We'll take a short break here, and on behalf of the Cornwall Sports Brisbane group, thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you at 6.